What's up, everybody? This is David Cutter. Gonna do a quick overview of my horror collection. This is part 3. Before I get started, I want to give a shout out to Spalding069 and, of course, the homie Jesse Midnight Crawler. Shout out to you guys. And let's begin. First, we have is the Exorcist: The Complete Anthology. Great exorcism film, probably the best one of all time. Comes in all these slim cases. It's pretty good. Got it a while back at Fry's. And the next movie really needs no introduction. Everybody knows it. This is George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead. This is the Ultimate Edition. It's got 3 cuts to the film: the extended cut, the European cut, and the theatrical cut. Man, you can get a hold of this. You might want to grab it. It was on like 10 or 12 bucks on Amazon at the time. But that is the Ultimate Edition. A gem in my collection, indeed. Then we have the original Night of the Living Dead. It's got a color transfer and a black and white transfer. It's pretty interesting watching this movie in color. Then we have the Return of the Living Dead. This is more of a comedy movie, kind of, but still a good film. I liked it. Return of the Living Dead. And then we have another iconic zombie movie, in my opinion, and that's Tom Savini's Night of the Living Dead. This is the Night of the Living Dead remake. Probably one of the best zombie movies from the 90s. It's got cameos from Bill Moseley. It got a cameo from Bill Moseley in the beginning, and it's got Tony Todd up in there, as well as Tom Towles. Could watch this movie over and over again, man. That's Tom Savini's Night of the Living Dead. And then my favorite Return of the Living Dead film, and this is Return of the Living Dead 3. This movie is wicked, man. It's got some good gore in it. Highly recommend this whenever you can find it. Last time it was around, I believe it was on those Lion Gates multi-packs, but I was lucky enough to find this at Barnes & Noble's by itself for only like 10 bucks. But anyway, that's Return of the Living Dead 3. And then the next one we have is Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer with Michael Rooker. You know, the guy that's known for The Walking Dead now. I don't watch that show, but anyway, this is a great movie based on the serial killer Henry Lee Lucas. It's got Tom Towles up in there too. The movie is very gritty and raw. So insane. So real, everything. The ending is just crazy as hell. Highly recommend you watch this one. That's Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. And then the next I have is just basically some Anchor Bay releases of Dawn of the Dead. And then I have an Anchor Bay release of Day of the Dead, my second favorite zombie film. Got these at Fry's a long time ago. And then we have the Scream Factory release of Day of the Dead. I would say this is another gem in my collection, simply because it's my only Scream Factory DVD that I own. I love that cover art, man. Just look at that cover art. Awesome. And then we have Lucio Fulci's Zombie. Another highly recommend this film too. This is the 2-disc Ultimate Edition. I like that cover. It kind of has some embossing to it, kind of. This is a 2-disc set. It's got a lot of special features in it. I wouldn't say it's up there with Dawn of the Dead, but it's still a great zombie film, man. Highly recommend it, man. This is Zombie, Blue Underground release. And we have coming up next is some of my favorite demon movies. We have the original Night of the Demons, the first one, with Mimi Kincaid and Linnea Quigley. Everybody knows this movie, man, especially the beginning with Linnea and the corner store. Everybody knows that scene. But anyway, this is a great film. Highly enjoy it. Could watch it over and over. One of my favorite movies to watch on Halloween. This is Night of the Demons. Great demon film. And then we have Night of the Demons, the sequel. Night of the Demons 2. This movie was hard to find. I found it at Fry's. I don't know if it's out of print or anything, but you might want to get your hands on that if you're into the Night of the Demons series. That's Night of the Demons 2. I like how they had Amelia Kincaid. I believe that's her name. I don't know why it said Mimi Kincaid. But anyway, they use the same chick in all the movies as far as I know. And then we have Night of the Demons 3. This one was really hard to find. I had to strictly order this on Amazon. I like the cover art on this. And this movie, it's not up there with part 1 and 2, but I still say it's a great film. This is Night of the Demons 3. Highly recommend it. And then what we have here is some Italian horror we got here, brought to you by Lamberto Bava and Dario Argento. And that is Demons, the first one. This is the one where they're in the movie theater. This movie is scary as hell. Great demon film. I like the atmosphere, the music, and everything, man. It's just a great film. I don't know if these are still around. I know that they have lots of Blu-ray releases that are awesome, but this is Demons, the first one. And then we got Demons 2. This is the sequel. This one is basically based in an apartment building. This girl Sally's throwing a party, and you know, it goes downhill when she's watching that demon film and it comes out of the TV. But anyway, this is another great one. Highly enjoyed this one. I liked how they used some of the same actors in the film from the first one. But anyway, that's Demons 2. And then we have some more Dario Argento goodness. These are some Blue Underground releases. Well, two of them are actually. The other ones are Anchor Bay. This first one we have is Phenomena. This is my favorite Dario Argento movie. This girl just has telepathic powers. She can like speak to animals and insects or whatever. But it's got Donald Pleasance in here too. And this film, it's got one of the most outrageous endings in horror, in my opinion, man. You just got to watch the whole movie through, and the ending, you know what I'm talking about. That's from Phenomena. And then we have a 2-disc Blue Underground release of Suspiria. It's a great witch movie. A while back they were supposed to remake it. I'm glad they didn't remake it. They should just leave the classics alone, I think. But this is Dario Argento, Suspiria, 2-disc Blue Underground release. And then we have Tenebrae, whatever. This is more of a slasher film. It's not up there with the other 2 films that I just showed you, but it's still a great film, man. I really liked it. I like the music in the film. It's got some slasher splatter in it here and there, but it's still good. And then we have Dario Argento's Deep Red. I really enjoyed this film. This is more of a giallo film. It's a Blue Underground release. I really liked it a lot. Highly recommend it. Check it out, man. This is Deep Red. And then the rest of my collection, we have Mother's Day. This is my favorite Troma film. This is a horror classic, man. I believe this one was made just before, around the same time of Friday the 13th, but this is a great film. I prefer this one over the remake. I don't think I would ever buy the remake. I was highly disappointed with the remake. But if you're going to get Mother's Day, get the original, man. I highly recommend the original film. This is an awesome movie. This is Mother's Day. And then we got 976 Evil here with the dude from Fright Night. He played Evil Ed in Fright Night. His name is I believe his name is Stephen Jeffries. But anyway, this is 976 Evil. There's a sequel to it, but it's only been found on the multi-packs. This is another great demon film. Highly recommend it. 976 Evil. And then we have Scanners. This movie is insane too. I only got the first one. I know there's other parts to this movie. There's like 2, 3, and 4, I believe. But of course, this movie is very well known for the heads exploding when they're having the showdown. But this is a great film. This is Scanners. And then we have the Phantasm franchise. I'm really, really stoked for that new Phantasm coming out, the Phantasm Ravager. Really looking forward to that. My favorite one of all of the Phantasms has got to be the first one. This is the Anchor Bay collection, and this came with a slip cover. I got this at Fries way probably back in like 2008 or 2009. But anyway, this is a great film. I would say you'd have to watch the first one to know what's going on throughout the whole franchise. Just watch the first one and just go on from there. Just watch the rest of them. But this is a great film. You got the tall man right there on the cover, Angus Scrimm, and then you got Reggie Bannister. That dude's awesome. He comes out in there, and we have the rest of the films. We got Phantasm 2, The Ball Is Back. I didn't really care for this one too much. I really like the other ones. All the other films are great, but I don't really care for this one too much. I thought it was kind of weak and slow, but that's just my opinion. But anyway, that's Phantasm 2. Then we have Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead. Then we have Phantasm 4, Oblivion. And then we have some Lucio Fulci movies, some great films right here. First one we have is The Beyond. This is my favorite Lucio Fulci movie of all time. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it, man. That's all I could say. It's a great film. This is The Beyond. And then we got Don't Torture a Duckling. This is a Giallo film. A very great film. If you haven't seen it, you might want to check it out if you're into Giallos. Don't Torture a Duckling. And then we got House by the Cemetery. I got like one of the first releases of it. I know there's some with special features or whatever, but I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I thought the kid in that movie was hilarious, and the monster in that film was just wicked. This is House by the Cemetery, another great Lucio Fulci film. And then we have a slasher coming up, and this is the New York Ripper. I have not got around to watching this. I don't know why, but this is the special edition, another film by Lucio Fulci, Blue Underground release. And then up next we have Manhattan Baby. This is probably one of my first Lucio Fulci movies. This one was pretty good. It's not as great as the other films, but I enjoyed it. I think it's got that same kid from House by the Cemetery. I'm not sure, but I think that's the same kid. And then we have Nightmare City. This is just the Blue Underground release. It has nothing to do with Lucio Fulci or anything, but this is an insane zombie movie if you guys haven't checked it out. And then we have some of my favorite films coming up. We got the first Creepshow. This is the Snapcase. This is a great film, but I prefer part 2 over part 1. Actually, I don't know how, but I seen part 2 before I seen part 1 back in the days. But that's Creepshow. And then we have Creepshow 2. This has got to be one of the first horror movies I ever seen. It's a great film. My favorite story is Chief Woodenhead. That's Creepshow 2. If you're into anthologies, you might want to check these out. Great film. Stephen King and George A. Romero welcome you to Creepshow 2. Gotta love that film so much. And then we have the original Evil Deads. We got the original Evil Dead right here. Of course, everyone knows this. Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi. Great film. The original. And this is the Anchor Bay release, I believe. And then we have the Evil Dead 2, of course. I believe this is a special edition. It's got some special features on it. And then we have Army of Darkness. This is another great film. Highly recommend it. I didn't really care too much for that reboot / remake or whatever. I mean, I still got it in my collection. That's because I'm a completist, but it's whatever, man. It was overrated. But anyway, this is a great film, Army of Darkness. And then we have The Legend of Boggy Creek, another childhood favorite. Great Bigfoot movie. Highly recommend it. If you're going to get this film, make sure you get the original 1972 cut, because there's a whole lot of other movies with this title on it. But this is The Legend of Boggy Creek, based on a true story. And then we got Dreamscape, another very underrated movie. Highly recommend this one. The Snake Man in that movie is crazy as hell. That's Dreamscape. Then we got Beyond the Door, another one of my favorite exorcism movies. It's cheesy as hell, bad voice dubbing, bad voice dubbing, and I really love the soundtrack in that movie. It's just basically about this chick that gets possessed. She's supposed to be pregnant with the devil's baby or whatever. But anyway, that's Beyond the Door. This was a Code Red release, I believe. I would have got 2 or 3 of them copies if I knew how rare they were going to be now. I found it at Best Buy. Anyway, next this is Cannibal Holocaust. This is the special 2-disc edition. This movie is raw as fuck, man. I can't wait to see the Green Inferno, I believe. This is going to be coming out soon. It's supposed to be something like Cannibal Holocaust, but this is another gem in my collection. I'm so glad to have got a hold of this Cannibal Holocaust. And then we got the Poltergeist trilogy. We got Poltergeist 1. Then we got Poltergeist 2 and 3. I thought Henry Kane was creepy as hell in part 2. That old reverend, that evil bastard. And of course part 3 is when they're in the Chicago high-rise building. These are all great films, man. The Poltergeist movies. Sadly, that movie's getting remade too. And then we have Trilogy of Terror, R.I.P. Karen Black. This is a great film. Just 3 different stories. I like the story about the witch, and my favorite one being with that voodoo doll in the beginning. Voodoo doll looks like Lil Wayne. Anyway, this is a great film. This is Trilogy of Terror Special Edition. And then we have some iconic vampire movies, beginning with Near Dark. Great vampire movie. Highly recommend it. And then, of course, everybody knows the top of the top vampire movies of all time, and that is The Lost Boys. This is the 2-disc special edition. Iconic vampire films right here, man. And then we have The Jitters. I wouldn't call this one iconic, but it's just cheesy as hell. Just like Kung Fu Vampires. It's got James Wong on the cover. I really like the cover art, but I already knew the movie was going to be cheesy, but I still got it. I found this at Fry's Electronics up there in Wisconsin when I was over there. But anyway, that's The Jitters. And then we got Vamp, another one of my favorite vampire movies from the 80s. This is the Midnight Madness series. That is Vamp. And then we have The Unnameable 2. Can't find The Unnameable 1 anywhere. I don't know if there's ever been a release of that movie. But that's The Unnameable 2. A great demon movie. And then we have, of course, everybody knows this iconic film, and that is The Gate, the Monstrous Special Edition. Great film, man. Great film. Anyway, that's it for my horror overview, part 3. Hopefully it wasn't too long. I'm just trying to do something different, man. And thanks for watching, and check you guys out later.